going on, everybody? This is Lady Luck here again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. All right, we got to discuss this a little bit more. So, first of all, let me be one to say that the High Court of Australia was absolutely right for upholding the visa ban against Candace Owens. Yeah, they were right. So, before we get started, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the Lady Luck Club. We're trying to hit 30,000 supporters by October 31st, which is in 5 days, people. 5 days. We can do it. I believe you can do it. Make sure you guys are sharing the content and leave your thoughts and comments below. And I know many of the candy asses will not like what I have to say, but I'm going to say it anyway because I say what I want. And we present documentation and evidence and facts here. So when I formulate my opinion, is derived from the documentation and evidence that I have. And because I choose to not live in some alternate reality, and recognize that I'm still here on earth in this reality, the documentation and evidence that we have available to us is what is available to us. I'm not going to think beyond that. Candace Owens has been on a very dangerous trend of throwing out a bunch of rhetoric, not caring about the aftermath or the consequences of the things that she says, and then she wants to blanket it under free speech. Free speech does not involve you falsely accusing people of being involved in an assassination with no evidence. And I'm not talking about you asking questions, Candace. I'm talking about direct evidence that would prove that anyone is connected to Charlie Kirk's assassination outside of Tyler James Robinson. And so since you seem to not, really fully understand that, because reasons, you're looking at many more lawsuits to come for defamation. Shout out to the Macrons for showing us all how it's done. You're being falsely accused of being somehow connected to a murder. That's not something that people should be able to say and get away with. And yet, whenever Candace gets caught up, then all of a sudden, no, they're trying to bankrupt me. No, stop crying the victim and take it like a champion. You put this nonsense out there. There's a penalty. There's a price to pay because no one wants to be falsely accused of committing a criminal act that is so heinous that all of us witnessed it on national television. There were thousands of people that saw that in person. And she's talking about so many other people being involved who may or may not have even been there in person to do anything. Even if she wants to insinuate someone being a co-conspirator of some sort, she still doesn't even have any evidence to do that. She's making these insinuations and trying to purport it as facts. People are getting sick of it, Candace. Just like Brigitte Macron got sick of you calling her a man. And you have no scientific evidence to prove it. You know you would need that. That's why you asked for the blood of the First Lady. So hopefully you all have seen my previous video that premiered, pre-recorded, of course. I've been taking the day to rest and sleep. So I've been doing these pre-recorded videos because I just want to still make sure that the information gets out there regarding that case and the updates that are available on the court calendar, on the court website. I haven't seen or heard any, hearing coming up for the Macron lawsuit, but hopefully they're soon to start. They have until October 31st to render a response, and they being the defendant, Candace Owens, to render a response to the amended complaint that was filed by the Macrons. So we have to allow the amended complaint, the response to be filed by the deadline, which is, I believe, October 30th or the 31st of this month. So this week, we should expect to see the response from Candace Owens' attorney for the amended complaint. And then from there, I'm sure they're going to have a hearing on that motion to dismiss, which should be denied because Candace Owens forgets that she filed the lawsuit in the state of Delaware and that her LLC is registered in the state of Delaware. So kick rocks with that dumb defense. Meanwhile, her attorneys need to be telling her something, because now we have a man who lives in Texas that was charged in Florida with making online death threats. So This is an article from MSN. There are many, many articles out there. I will be leaving links to several different articles in the description of the video because you have weird ass candy asses that are sitting here talking about all these articles are Jewish articles. Why don't you Google? You can research this stuff yourself. Have you all forgotten to do that? Or does Candace always tells you when to read? How does that go? I'm curious. Just asking questions. All right. So a Texas man has been charged with making online death threats against prominent Jewish conservative media figures, including Post columnist Carol Markowitz, Babylon B CEO Seth Dillon, Newsweek senior editor at large Josh Hammer, and Laura Loomer. Nicholas Ray of Spring, Texas, was hit with 12 Florida state charges after he posted the threats between October 8 and October 10 on X under the username at Zionist are scum, according to a probable cause affidavit obtained by the Post. Dear New York Post, please post the affidavit. Link it somewhere in your article because we all want to read it. I haven't found it. I've been looking for it. The October 18th affidavit claims Ray threatened to hang Loomer from the Capitol in the Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C. because she was a Mossad agent. Here's Nicholas Ray. He looks young. And now he's thrown his life away because words are being said. Words are being said. Not that there's any evidence of these things, but simply because they're being said. And now he's in jail, facing 12 state criminal charges. So if you guys are wondering what is MCSO, that is Montgomery County Sheriff's Office in Texas before he was extradited. This is his mugshot. Inmate number 688452. That would be on the MCSO website. Once he gets transferred down to Florida, they're going to book him there. And I think he will get a new inmate number. And I don't know if he's going to take another picture, but you know. Oh man, all of that over some words. He also wildly charged that Hammer had conspired with foreign government about killing Charlie Kirk and used a racial slur before calling the Newsweek editor a traitor who should literally be killed by firing squad. This is dangerous. We're gonna get you, I promise, maybe not today or tomorrow, but you're living on borrowed time. You know it. Ray Warren, Dillon, and Markowitz were accused of conspiring with Israel in the September 10th assassination of Kirk and genociding in Gaza. How did they genocide in Gaza? They don't live in Gaza. How are they being accused of doing things they're not physically able to do? They don't live in Gaza. What do you mean? Genociding? So, I mean, it's, based on the definition of the word genocide, it's an eradication. How is that happening, physically speaking? This is the stuff that these dumb words can lead to. Dumb accusations. That makes no sense. Physiologically, like physically speaking. They're not there in Gaza. They're in the U.S. Am I correct? They live in the United States of America. They're not even on Gaza soil. On Tuesday, Loomer posted an image of Ray's mugshot at the Montgomery County Jail in Texas before his extradition to the Sunshine State. He's accusing me of being a foreign agent and saying that I'm going to be killed, Loomer told the Post Wednesday. I'm not a foreign agent. I'm a U.S. citizen. This is the result of radicalization from conspiracy theories online. See, with no proof. You need evidence and proof to show someone's a foreign agent. There's typically going to be some document or some level of evidence to support that. For goodness sake. Just saying these things with no evidence is what's happening here. And this is how it's becoming even more dangerous. It's getting dumb. I mean, why not? Why even put that out there if there's no evidence to prove it? No one cares about your theories. Theories don't work in court. And Nicholas Ray is about to find out. Judges don't want to hear your stupid conspiracy theories. Nicholas Ray is about to find out because he effed around. They think they can get away with inciting political violence because they're using an anonymous account, the Loomer Unleashed host added, claiming Ray had clearly been radicalized by left and right-wing podcasters who have made anti-Semitic accusations. Listen, I'm gonna tell you all right now, when it comes to politics and stuff, this whole left and right thing, God doesn't care about that. He's not gonna ask you on Judgment Day who you voted for. He doesn't care if you think you're left or right, it's irrelevant. It's the fact that what he's saying is defamatory and making death threats. He doesn't have the authority to take someone's life. This is why he's in jail. He's not being charged with being some radicalized by left or right. That's not a charge. That is not a criminal charge. You will not see a criminal charge that involves left or right. When it comes to some political, radicalization, I don't even think radicalization is a part of a criminal charge. We got to stop dumbing this down to just being a left or right thing. No, this is a mentality issue. It's a matter of people not producing evidence and just throwing out dumb accusations and saying it's free speech. No, it's not. When your free speech starts to intrude upon the protections and the rights of others, it's not free speech. Working in media should not mean that death threats are a part of the job, Markowitz said in an emailed statement. The fact that they've become so commonplace is a societal problem, because it is not just a left or right thing. Stop reducing these very serious issues to just being a left or right. It comes off stupid. I'm very pleased and grateful that Florida Attorney General James Uthmeyer is taking action against these threats. It's a societal problem. It is. It's a state of mind. How easily people are influenced by some of the dumbest stuff being said with no evidence to prove it. Dillon added in an X post Tuesday that he began receiving threats while authoring a piece for the Free Press titled "The Foolishness of No Enemies to the Right." Stop making stuff about left or right. It's just that to me goes, it's irrelevant. Left or right has no place in court. It's not going to matter when, they start these hearings on Nicholas Ray. Let's see. Let's scroll down to where it says here, Ray faces up to 140 years in prison if convicted on all counts. And it will not be because something with left or right political, conservative or Democratic or Republican or liberal and none of that. It will be because of the evidence that will determine whether or not he's guilty or innocent. Facing 140 years in prison if convicted on all 12 counts. That's a long time, because you wanted to sit here and read some words on a social media post and thought, yeah, this must be true. Let's go with it. It makes humanity look dumber and dumber by the second. We got to stop. The 28-year-old followed just 3 accounts on X. One devoted to the Dallas Cowboys, which I'm sure they're going to put out a statement saying we're denouncing this person. And although we can't, control who supports us, we have no affiliation with this crap whatsoever, because the Dallas Cowboys need to do that. Neo-Nazi Paul Miller, don't know who that is, far-right pundit Candace Owens. I can just say Candace Owens, the pundit. I don't care if she's left or right. She's being dangerous. See, Candace, you're the only person one of 3 people he followed. The other 2 is the Dallas Cowboys, a football team, and a neo-Nazi. And then you, Candace, you should feel proud of yourself that you're being put next to a neo-Nazi who left Shapiro's Daily Wire in March 2024 amid public friction with the founder over her anti-Israel views. Owens was caught liking a post on X at same month, rehashing a centuries-old conspiracy theory about rabbis drinking the blood of Christians. Why would you like something like that? I don't care what your religious preference is. I don't care if you're Protestant or Catholic. I don't care if you're Jew or Gentile, if you're from Palestine or Israel or the, United States of America. I don't care. Who would like a post of anyone drinking blood? That has to be the epitome of demonic and evil. Candace, I don't care who's drinking the blood. It's the fact that you like a post of someone drinking blood. Stop right there. It's disgusting. She's either talking about something being fake and gay, or liking posts of people drinking blood, human blood. That has to be demonic and evil and vile. And you claim to be a Christian, Candace? And the only other thing you want to sit around and talk about is something being fake and gay. Why is that the only thing that consumes your thoughts? Either something is gay or someone's drinking human blood? You're gross. Loomer also got into an online spat with Owens in March, accusing the influencer of claiming she would dance for Israel. A rep for Owens did not immediately respond to a request for comment. What can they say? Candace Owens has lost her damn mind. We know. Okay. The arrest warrant was signed by a Palm Beach County judge on October 18th, though a spokesperson for Uthmir's office said Ray has yet to be transferred to Florida for an arraignment. I've been looking for the probable cause affidavit and the arrest warrant. I haven't seen it, but I'm going to keep looking. On October 10th, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi announced that another man had been arrested for making death threats against conservative commentator Benny Johnson, in what she described as a chilling attempt at a copycat scheme mimicking Kirk's murder. George Isabel Jr. menaced in a letter that he would make orphans of Johnson's children. Kirk 31 was federally shot while debating college students at Utah Valley University and posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Trump here. Yeah, this is crazy. This is so dangerous that you have anyone willing to go out. One of three accounts that he, followed is a neo-Nazi, the Dallas Cowboys, and Candace Owens. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. So I just want to go over to the other articles here. I had to print out that one from MSN. It was skipping all over the place, but you guys can see this is Politico. And of course, I've been looking for the, probable cause affidavit for Nicholas Ray. And then I've also been looking for the actual charging documents. So hopefully we'll have that information soon. But I haven't been able to find it. I have not been able to find it. So if somebody has it, or if you know where I can get it, because the New York Post, they've been real selfish right now. I've been selfish over the New York Post. They're not posting up any links or anything. I mean, my goodness. It's so not fair. But you guys can read about this on Politico. You can also read about it on MSN. I'll pull up the article. Here's the article, here. And then, of course, here is another article here. The Allgemeiner. I've never heard of this. It just came up in a Google search. A man charged in Florida for death threats against Jewish conservatives referencing Charlie Kirk's murder. And you guys can read about that here as well. He only followed. See, look at this. This is crazy. Candace, you should literally be embarrassed that you're being put next to a neo-Nazi. You should be embarrassed about that. New York Post, please, can y'all send me a copy of this probable cause affidavit? I want to read it. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And she is too busy, getting mad at the Macrons for allegedly trying to bankrupt her. No, girl, you got so many more possible lawsuits coming down the pipeline. You haven't seen an attempt to bankrupt you yet. I don't think you'll be able to comprehend that. Plus, you're worth over $220 million. At some point, George Farmer, you're going to have to tell Candace Owens to shut up. So here's the Twitter X post. And I literally asked for the probable cause affidavit, y'all, right here. Y'all can see me right here. I'm asking for it. Give me a copy of it. But the Attorney General, James Uthmir, did post up this message here. Last week, our Office of Statewide Prosecution was notified of multiple specific death threats made to Jewish conservative media members who live in Florida. After an investigation, we obtained an arrest warrant for Nicholas Ray of Spring, Texas. I would like to see a copy of that arrest warrant as well. Ray is now in custody and will be extradited to Florida to face charges of extortion, written threats to kill, and unlawful use of two-way communication device. Yeah, this is serious. This is very, very serious. And, just want to remind you all of why the High Court of Australia said Candace Owens can kick rocks. She is not welcome here. We don't have time for any of her nonsense when it comes to her wanting a visa to come to our country. They don't have time for it. I just want to remind you all of why they revoked it. And you guys can see this is why. You're saying things that are getting people now caught up. And this man is facing up to 140 years in prison if he's found guilty and convicted on all 12 accounts. Australia didn't make a mistake when they denied her visa. The highest court in Australia said, no thanks. You could incite discord among communities. That's exactly what you're doing, Candace. You're doing the very thing that the High Court of Australia has even warned everyone around the world, especially here in the United States of America, that you're capable of doing. Inciting discord. It's more than just inciting discord. You have death threats going out to people because you've been reporting on Charlie Kirk for 6 weeks, Candace. And you and the candy ass are just sitting here insinuating any and everyone simply because you find something suspicious. But your base takes that nonsense and they run with it. And they take it serious. You can't control your base. But they take this stuff seriously. And they go out and then they do what Nicholas Ray did. Making death threats to try to take someone's life. He's one of two people, by the way. So, and then let me go back to the algae miner here. I'm sorry if I'm saying the name wrong. But there was another individual that threatened the life of Benny Johnson. Said that he will leave his children as orphans. Here we go here on Politico. He made vicious threats against podcaster Benny Johnson. That's two people. Two people that have been criminally charged. Nicholas Ray from Texas and a California man. Because of all the nonsense that have been spewed out since Charlie Kirk was assassinated. So you can't get mad at the High Court of Australia for being proactive as an entire continent and country for saying, we don't have time for that nonsense. Because now look what's happening. So my recommendation for all of these, individuals receiving these death threats is to file a lawsuit against her and anyone else that is saying all this nonsense, accusing them of being, somehow affiliated with a whole murder. Because this is what's the result of it if you allow it to go unchecked and untethered. It could come out to death threats. It could be a matter of someone's life and liberty and freedom here. You mean to tell me you can't do a podcast now without someone sending a death threat your way? And for what? Some brainwashed cult members that are harping on the words that Candace Owens says with no evidence. Y'all know those conspiracy theories aren't going to work in court, right? Just a reminder, Candace Owens. Your dumbass conspiracy theories are not going to fly in court. No judge is going to be tolerant of that. They're not going to want to hear your BS. And there's no excuse you have to doubling down on Brigitte Macron being born a man with no scientific evidence to back it up. They're going to be bringing scientific evidence with them, though. And they're going to crush your ass with it. And it's going to be epic. And I'm going to report on every second of it. Because that's what you get, Candace Owens. Because your free speech is causing others harm. And that's when it's no longer free. There's a price to pay for it. And you're paying for it with already one high-profile defamation lawsuit. So for Laura Loomer and Josh Hammer and Benny Johnson and everyone else, y'all need to come together and sue her ass and stop playing around with it. Sue her. That's what it comes down to. If she's worried about being bankrupted, then that's all she's concerned about. How this affects her financially, monetarily wise. She's making money on this stuff. Look how many views she got in her videos of the coverage of Charlie Kirk for 6 weeks straight. And how much money she made from that. Look how much money she made from defaming Brigitte Macron. She's making money from spreading this hate, the conspiracy theories, all this crap. She's making money from it. Sue her ass and get it back. All right, that's all I got, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. Make sure you guys hit the like button and share this content. You know, sometimes the truth must be told. And I'm going to tell it. It's bottom line. That's all I know how to do. All right, now I appreciate all of you all support. Make sure you subscribe and become a member of the LLC. And in the next Members Only Live, we're going to finish up our Spanish classes because I couldn't do anything else. So thank you guys for tuning in. And until the next one, Lady Luck Club out.